The exercise will begin tomorrow, 30th June 2020, and will continue until the 6th of August 2020. The registration of voters, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, is a critical process in our electoral cycle. The voters' register is a bedrock on which credible elections rest. It is the foundation upon which the sovereign right of a people to choose their national leaders is hinged. Therefore, in carrying out the voter registration exercise, we as a commission are mindful of the significance of the task we are undertaking. We would like to assure all of you that as a commission, our rationale for compiling a new register is not to disenfranchise any election. CI 126 specifies the documents that each citizen of Ghana is required to present in order to be eligible to register as a voter. The required documents are a valid passport or a national identification card issued by the National Identification Authority. CI 126 further specifies that in an event that a citizen of Ghana does not have either of the above documents, he or she must present two guarantors who must themselves have registered under the current registration process to vouch for or guarantee the identity of the said person as a citizen of Ghana. We are aware that some concerns have been raised about the issue and the use of guarantors. We wish to acknowledge these concerns. We understand that it may seem like a burden having to find two registered persons to vouch for one's identity as a Ghanaian. And yet, it seems to us to be the lesser of two evils. Although it may take a little bit more of your time and that of your guarantors, it will ensure that only persons who are Ghanaian and of 18 years old are enlisted on our voters' register. Guaranteeing of identity through the use of guarantors is actually not a new phenomenon in Ghana's voting procedures. This system has been with us since the beginning of our democracy, as the framers of the law anticipated situations in which Ghanaian citizens might, for legitimate and unavoidable reasons, be unable to prove or provide documentation to prove their citizenship. May I crave your indulgence, ladies and gentlemen, in presenting you with available data on the numbers of persons who have in the past been registered using guarantors as follows. In 2014, 928,540 persons were registered as voters. Of this number, 82.2% of registered voters used the guarantor system. In 2016, 1,046,067 persons were registered as voters. Of this number, 92.5% used guarantors. In the continuous registration process in 2016, 37,929 persons were registered. Of this number, 93.1% used guarantors. In the referendum of 2018, 47,852 persons were registered. 99.5% of these persons used guarantors. In 2019, the limited registration process of 2019, 1,211,395 persons were registered. 95.2% of these persons used guarantors. As you would have observed from the above numbers, my predecessors have applied this system in the past, in past voter registration processes, as they have sought to ensure that no one was disenfranchised for valid reasons beyond their control. I hope and pray that the 2020 election should be the last time that we as a country will need the guarantor system. As come 2020, all citizens should have been issued with national identification cards. As a commission, we have paid close attention to the signals from the government and from the Ghana Health Service, which suggests the latter approach. We have in addition held discussions with a national COVID-19 team established by the government and again the Ghana Health Service. We have taken their advice on best practice in curtailing the spread of the virus. We have thus developed the following safety regimen to be carried out at all our registration centers throughout the country. First, as has been our practice, all registration centers will be set up outdoors in open spaces. Where schools, churches, and other such venues are used as registration centers, we will not set camp inside the school or church buildings. Our registration centers will be set up in open fields and open spaces outside the school and church buildings. We will not use the school or church furniture. We will use the Electoral Commission's furniture and set up for use as registration centers. This has been our policy and practice in times past and will remain so. As an added measure, our furniture and our fittings will be continually wiped with alcohol wipes. Other COVID-19 preventive measures that will be observed at all registration centers are as follows. All people entering the registration center or queuing to enter the registration center will be required to wear a nose mask. On arrival at the registration center, every person's temperature will be taken using a thermometer gun. Persons with temperatures above 37.8 degrees Celsius will be directed to the health personnel at the registration centers or the nearest public health facility. Special arrangements will be made for them to register. The Commission will provide liquid soap and water with Veronica buckets for the mandatory washing of hands before joining the queue or entering the registration center. There will be strict adherence to physical distance of at least 1 meter in the queues at all centers. Our fingerprint scanners will be cleaned prior to the capturing of fingerprints of applicants using alcohol wipes. Hand sanitizers will be provided for the mandatory sanitizing of hands when leaving the stations. I'll now turn my attention to the mode of registration. The cluster system will be used for the voters' registration exercise. A cluster consists of 5 registration centers or polling stations in a district. In total, 6,788 clusters, made up of 5 polling stations each, will be covered. This means that all 33,367 registration centers will be covered during the registration exercise. The registration will take place simultaneously in all 16 regions of Ghana. I hope and pray that the 2020 election should be the last time that we as a country will need the guarantor system. As come 2020, all citizens should have been issued with national identification cards, and the processes for applying for the national identification cards should have become routine procedure carried out at the national, district, and regional levels. As a commission which believes in law and order, peace and stability, we have engaged regularly with the security agencies through the mechanism of the Election Security Task Force. We are confident that our early and regular engagements will yield positive gains and cause us to witness a peaceful and violence-free exercise. On our part, we call on all Ghanaians to work with us to ensure a peaceful registration exercise.